Nigeria's push to strengthen public procurement, protect the environment, and improve social safeguards took center stage on Monday as academics, government officials, development partners, and industry leaders gathered for the 2025 International Conference on Sustainable Procurement, Environmental and Social Standards. The conference, themed Enhancing Sustainable Development Impact through Procurement, Environmental and Social Standards, was organized by the University of Lagos Sustainable Procurement Environmental and Social Standards Enhancement Center of Excellence. The conference featured a dance drama presentation, keynote addresses, and goodwill messages, all highlighting the rising urgency for Nigeria to adopt global standards that ensure public projects are durable, transparent, people-centered, and climate-ready. Speaking at the event, stakeholders described the conference as a new lease of life for the relationship between academia, practitioners, and regulatory bodies, a relationship they say had previously been disconnected.
But the project is addressing three broad areas: sustainable procurement, environmental standards, as well as social standards. But uh, the design of the program was done in such a way that the bulk of the funding is dedicated to procurement, about 60% of the investment. So even the expectation in terms of the output is higher on the side of procurement. But that does not mean that the other areas are not relevant, because when you address procurement, you should also be conscious of the social implication of what you are doing.
As LASEPA, EP of the state, so what we do basically is to ensure that there's compliance in environmental sustainability. And we cannot do that alone. And we are glad to be working with University of Lagos. We've been doing quite a number of things together. We have very robust relationship with the institution, and we are proud to be here once again to discuss procurement planning as regards environmental management. So for us, this is well applauded. And I want to also tell us that on the issue of procurement planning, there's no way you can actually have a sustainable environment if you don't do the actual plan, put the actual plan in place.
So we are writing the narratives of what procurement should look like in Nigeria. You know, there has always been all manner of perception about procurement and the practitioners. We are changing that to the best of our ability. We're driving as much as we can using technology. We are ensuring that technology assists us to minimize human to human interaction, and you are able to eliminate this issue of misplacement of body language, especially within the public service.
Government officials identified the knowledge gap as a major contributory factor to incidents of misprocurement and infractions. They emphasized that the country can no longer afford procurement systems that ignore environmental or social consequences.
If we do a proper plan, don't forget, procurement is an enabler. Procurement is to spur the different sector to do the right thing in budgeting, in implementation. So what we're doing now is that we must set the criteria, set the conditions. In the next 10 years, where do we want to be in the next 5 years? Where do we want to be in the next 10 years in different sector? So by thinking like that, we set the right framework. So in budgeting, so if I know where I want to be next 5 years, I will budget based on the 5-year plan so that I don't over budget or under budget. What do I want to do in terms of my environment in the next 5 years? What quality of road? What quality of human capacity? So procurement has to be the driver by planning, and then aligns to budget so that we don't produce a national budget or state budget. It is based on planning. What has been planned, then it leads to budgeting. So we're trying to encourage a paradigm shift in terms of budgeting in this country. Let it start with planning, and then it leads to budgeting, not from budget to planning. We're trying to reverse to say, let's plan, then we budget, and then we know where we're going to.
So one of the achievements for us, which we are looking for, is for people to first of all be conscious of the environment itself and the human parts. And it's for us here to brainstorm, to come out with communique that will help not only the country, but Africa, where we actually find ourselves. If you look at the venue, you see my colleagues from outside the country, some join online, some are still struggling to speak from the online. So we actually want to look for network among the expertise that we have in the country. The experts are there, but we need that strong network to build a good community of experts. So when you have this community of experts, we are very sure we're going to make a good move. Coming to environment, we want a safe environment. We want something that we are going to leave behind, and the future will not cost us.
A representative from the SGF office says the federal government of Nigeria is partnering with states to create a national procurement strategy that ensures value for citizens. Sierra Leone's Public Procurement Authority head also called for uniform procurement reforms across Africa to address shared climate challenges.
We were behind the environmental standards implementation for a long time. The environmental impact assessment, for instance, came only as an act in 1992. So Nigeria is still young in implementing its environmental standards, especially to the point of legislation and litigation, rather. So, but again, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's ensuring that these environmental standards governance are really incorporated right now in projects before they are carried out, to ensure that if it is going to affect people, they are properly and duly resettled and then compensated as well. So I think in recent times, this improvement is appreciated.
Public procurement is a global phenomenon that drives development across the world. And public procurement has evolved from just processes now to governance. It's now a strong governance tool for all forms of administration and for fostering development in societies. Major strategies that could be adopted in procurement is making sure that you have a strong legal backing of your procurement system that will direct the processes and procedures that should be followed during the administration of procurement activities within any administrative unit of government.
We talk here, we blow the grammar, we send the papers. What are the practicality of these issues? And this is where we need to take the gown to town and the town to gown. There should be a kind of industrial collaboration between the academics. You know, there's already this disjointed mechanism between academics, between the agency of government, and between the industry. We need to have a kind of harmonization where we will not just go to present seminars. It will be a seminar on the way, maybe a workshop now, the way forward. How do we practicalize these things? The industry, the agency, this is what we are seeing. The academics, how do you engage us? Bring your students out. The industry, what and what can we do together that will make sure that, one, we save our environment, the youth are engaged in the process of saving the environment, there's entrepreneurship part of this thing, and at the end, it's a gain for everybody.
Across the sessions, government ministries, agencies, and sub-national institutions affirmed their commitment to adopting environmental best practices, integrating climate resilience, and strengthening social standards to protect vulnerable communities. Joy Uchejim, TV 360, Lagos.